Hey you guys, it's Sam, and today I am here to talk to you about how I edit my Instagram photos. A lot of you guys have been asking me for this, about how I take them, how I edit them, what filters I use, what apps I use, and today we're gonna talk about that. If you're excited about this kind of content and you wanna see more of it, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know, that way I can make more of it. Okay, let's do it. Okay, before we even talk about editing, let's discuss how to make a good Instagram photo. So first of all, I always recommend taking like a million pictures. You should see my camera roll. It literally, you could scroll for 5 minutes and still be seeing pictures from the same shoot. I probably take 500 photos to get like 3 or 4 good ones that I sometimes like will put in a slideshow or something. Like you would be in physical pain if you saw the number of photos in my camera roll. One of the most important things when you go to take an Instagram photo is gonna be the lighting. So for me, I like to go out on a sunny day and stand in a shady place, especially like facing the light. You want your face like in the direction of the light. I say this for a couple reasons. First of all, a lot of times I used to say that like overcast lighting was the best for taking photos, but in my opinion, that actually makes your photo look really cool, like more blue tones and like a little bit on the cold side. If you do it during a sunny day, then the light that comes at you is going to be more like yellow and like warm, and it'll bring out this like glow from within you. So lighting is really important. Like I said, I recommend going on a sunny day, standing in a shady spot and facing the light. That is my 3-step program for getting the best lighting. I'm not even gonna charge you for that. That one's free. The next one is like super obvious, but like know your angles and know some flattering poses that you can just like pop off one after another. That way you're not there for like 10 minutes trying to decide like what pose you should do in your photo. Like come up with them in advance and like figure out what looks good for you. For me, I really like to stand with one leg in front of the other. I feel like that makes my legs look really long, and that's like kind of the like aesthetic I'm going for. So I really try to do like long leg poses kind of. And another thing is sometimes I have somebody shoot my photos from like underneath me. That also makes your legs look longer. So like if your person is like, you know, that like meme of like your best friend like squatting or like laying down on the floor to like take your Instagram, that's like everyone who takes my photos. I like tell them to go from underneath me. That way you're seeing more leg and like less torso, if that makes sense. And then my last tip for like shooting a really nice Instagram photo is to have nice, neat backgrounds. I hate nothing more than messy like bedroom in your background, or like I don't know, like whatever's behind you. Like if it's like a parking lot but there are like trees and buildings and like light posts and like it's all kind of like scraggly and messy, it's gonna be so distracting and no one's gonna be able to look at you because your photo's gonna be full of other ugly stuff. So for me, it's all about having like a neat background, whether that's like a plain wall, which can be kind of boring. I don't know. I just like to have like clean backgrounds. I'll put some examples here of like neat backgrounds I've used in my photos, and then in a sec, right now, I will put some examples of like messy backgrounds where like maybe I didn't love the background of that photo, but I looked cute in it, so I posted it anyway. Okay, so that is how I shoot Instagram photos. Let's talk about how I edit them. So the first thing I do when I'm done shooting my photos and I'm ready to start editing is I open them up and I scroll using there's like a little like scroll panel kind of on the bottom where you can see all the photos really small, like thumbnails. I use that to scroll back and forth because it allows you to go back and forth between 2 photos a lot faster, and it lets you see kind of like the differences between those photos. So like for example, in this one I like how my arm is better than in this one, and then as I go through you'll see I'll like heart some of them, so like I'll put them in my favorites. That helps me narrow it down. So then what I'll do is I'll go into my favorites, look at all the ones in like the same background. So say like there's this background versus like that background. I will just look at the ones with the same background and pick like 2 or 3 or 4 from that background, and then I'll go into the next background, pick 2 or 3 or 4 from that background. So as I go between, for example, like say I'm deciding between these 2 photos, they're both kind of cute. I like this one better because you see like more of the outfit and I'm at less of a weird angle and there's a little bit more light on my face. So I'm gonna unfavorite this one, take it out of my favorites, and I'm gonna keep that one. So that's kind of how I narrow it down, and I just keep going back and forth until I have like 2 or 3 or 4 from one background, and then those are the photos that I use in either a slideshow, or I'll narrow it all the way down to 1 and just post that picture. So then the next thing I do is I open up my photo in Facetune. Now let's pause here. I'm not a huge fan of like overly edited photos in a lot of ways, but I have been known to whiten my teeth. I have been known to fix an under eye circle. I've been known to like take something out of the background that I think is really distracting from the picture, and I'm not here to judge you if you edit your pics. That's okay. Whatever makes you feel good is good. I'm not trying to promote any like sketchy beauty standards that like anyone has to comply with or like feel obligated to attain. But like if you want to whiten your teeth in a picture, like whiten your teeth in a picture. I'm not going to yell at you for that. But the majority of why I use Facetune is, let's use this one for an example. So one of the things that I really like to do that I think makes my photos like a lot cuter and like stand out more is I like to sharpen my jewelry. So for example, I'll take the details tool here and I will zoom in on my jewelry and just go over it. See how much it pops? Like it's glowing. So I do that on my jewelry. So if I'm wearing like a necklace, for example, which I'm not in this picture, I'm just wearing like a ring and whatever. But sometimes if I have like a shiny chain or like some cute kind of chain, I'll put detail on that. But it's also for like clothing items or like sunglass lenses, for example. Like if I have cool sunglass lenses, I like to sharpen those because I feel like it like really draws the eye, even if they're not over my eyes, which I know is like really weird. But I just love the way it looks. And I just feel like it really makes it pop. It's really just, all it's doing is increasing the sharpness in that area, which I really like. And here's my like big trick. I have been known to do it on my pupils before. Like warning here that it sometimes makes your eyes look really over edited, especially when you add a filter, because I have really light eyes. So in a lot of filters, my eyes get like neon. So sometimes I just like roll with it and people like call me out and I'm like, okay, so like I put a filter on my eyes. What are you gonna do, sue me? And then other times I like will tone it down if I like really don't like how it makes the picture look. But I feel like all of those things just kind of like make you pop. So I'm going to save that. Okay. Now let's go into filters. Currently, I am obsessed with the Tezza app. That's what I've been using for the last couple months. It's something like $34, $35 a year. So I just bought a year and then canceled it to see if I like really like it, but turns out I do. So I think I'm gonna like renew my subscription. Anyway, I'll open the Tezza app. I've already loaded these 3 photos so that I could edit them for you and kind of show you what the different photos look like, because they're all in different lighting situations and I just kind of want to explain what I do for each photo. So let's start with this one. You go into edit. My favorite filter for Tezza, because like I was gonna say Tezza. My favorite filter in the Tezza app, which is basically the only one I use for any of my photos, is called Vintage. So you go in and there's like a thing here. I really like it pretty high up usually because it makes my whites whiter. But if it feels really unnatural, like that makes my skin look like really dark, which is like a little bit aggressive for this. So I'm gonna tone it down to about halfway so you can see the difference there. All of my whites are super white and it even takes some of the yellow out so that it's not as like warm and it's more like bright and white. So then I'm gonna go into here. Sometimes I'll adjust the contrast and stuff. On this photo, there's like kind of a lot of contrast like because of the shadows. So I'm gonna take it down just a little bit. Let's see. Temperature, I like to play with that a little bit. I usually like to make the temperature like hotter so it goes like on the yellow end of the spectrum instead of the blue end. Like I said, I feel like the blue just like kind of drains the color from your face and makes you look washed out. So I usually like to take the temperature and go yellow. And then this is like a fun little trick. I go into HSL and this photo doesn't really have any like colors. Like there's no like trees, leaves, grass in the background. But for example, if there were trees, I would take the green and boost the saturation, because a lot of times these like bloggery filters, I'm going to take it to 0 because there are no trees in this, but a lot of times blogger filters, like those orangey ones that make things like really orange or really white, like totally mute the color in like your greens. So if there's a tree behind me, it looks like gray, and I think that's so weird. So I like to boost the saturation on that so you can like really see the color. Sometimes if I'm wearing jeans, I'll like boost the blue a little bit. If you go all the way, you can see it looks like crazy, but like my jeans, I don't want my jeans to look gray because they're blue. So I'll like go up a little bit on the saturation there. Sometimes like the luminance will make them a little darker or a little lighter. So I'll take it down a little bit just so that it like you can see the color better. But that's how I edit that photo, and that's kind of it. Okay, now I'm gonna do this one of me and Ryan. I've already posted this one and this is how I edited it. So I'm just gonna kind of show you what that looks like. But like I said, I use the vintage filter, so I'm gonna pop it on there. You can see it already makes my eyes look like crazy bright and blue. So like there's not a lot I can do about that. And I think I don't even think I sharpened my eyes in this one. So this is just the filters like kind of crazy. So I will put it up to like here. You can see one of the things I really like about the vintage filter in the Tezza app is it automatically like kind of smooths your skin. And that's something I'm like insecure about in photos, which I know is like really specific and weird, but my skin is like not really, like my skin tone's not super naturally even. So when I wear makeup, it definitely helps, but I was not even wearing makeup in this picture. So you can see there's like a little bit of like redness around like my cheeks and like around my forehead. And I just don't really like the way that looks. And I feel like this kind of smooths it out and makes it all look one tone, which is what I rely on makeup to do. So if I'm not wearing makeup, this app is a really good like backup plan for that. And on this one, I also boosted the saturation a little bit, which makes it look a lot more like the one I posted, because the colors just kind of got washed out in that filter, like I said in the last one. So I'll boost the saturation a little bit so that we don't look like zombies. So I feel like that's good on that one. Sorry if the light is going crazy. There's a palm tree outside my window just having a dance off with another palm tree. So what are you gonna do? Okay, now I'm gonna take this last one, which I just edited in Facetune. You can see that like my jewelry and my lenses are like popping, and I did my eyes a little bit. And then I'm just gonna go into the vintage filter. On this particular photo, I actually don't love what the filter does to it. See how it takes down like the pink and the purple and the yellow a lot, and it actually makes my skin, for whatever reason, look like less tan, if that makes sense. And I don't like it when my lips look like really white against my skin. I feel like that's kind of weird. So I'm gonna take it down a lot. Like I'm really just gonna go up to like 11 or 12. That way it kind of brightens the background a little bit and makes my eyes pop, but like doesn't do anything crazy. I am gonna boost saturation a little bit because your girl loves a colorful photo, and what are you gonna do? That's it, that's just how I operate. And I feel like that's good for that one. You can tell it's like golden hour when I took this. It was like end of the day, it was like 7:30 p.m. on like a summer night, which is like sunset. And I just really love the colors in this dress, and I feel like the light is really good on my eyes and makes them look really blue. So there's not that much that has to be done to this one, honestly. But anyway, that is these 3 photos. They're all like a little bit different. All of them had different lighting. For example, like this one was at like kind of a sunset hour, but like we were under like an overhang at a restaurant. And like this one is on a cool like overcast day. So like it was a little bit bluer. And then this one was like at golden hour, like out in the sun. And I just like really loved to bring the colors out in that one. Okay, you guys, that's it. That's how I edit my Instagram photos. I'm so glad we got to talk about this. You guys have been asking for this video for a long ass time, so I'm glad I got to finally make it. If you like this kind of content, like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know so that I can make more of it. And stay tuned because I have a bunch more videos in the works right now, also ones that you guys have been asking for, and I can't wait to share them with you. Bye. Peace out.